So we're back in the man cave because weather just sucks. So here we are. Inside, we're doing this here. One of the things I just absolutely loved about working at domyown.com when I was making video content for them was researching out the topics so that I could learn a few things and create the content, right? So in my efforts to get back to that, that's what we're gonna do today. I want to discuss how to choose and use herbicides. Herbicides, that stuff. Weed killer. Let's talk about it. If you're new to the lawn care journey, you're just jumping into this, let's get down to the basics of what herbicides are. And simply, they're just chemicals that kill weeds. And there are tons of them out there, so choosing the right one for you can be a little overwhelming. So let's try to break this down a little bit so that you can figure out which herbicide is going to be best to take care of the weeds in your lawn. The first step in picking the herbicide of your choice is you have to properly identify the weed that you're trying to kill in your lawn. This in and of itself can be a little daunting, but there's 3 different types of weeds that you're mainly going to be tackling here. You're going to have your broadleaf weeds like chickweed or dandelion, grassy weeds like everyone's favorite crabgrass or goosegrass, and your third type of weed is going to be your sedges like your purple and yellow nutsedge. On top of broadleaf, grassy, or sedge type weeds, we're going to be dealing with either annual, biennial, or perennial type weeds. Let's break that down. Annual weeds are going to reproduce their seeds and finish their life cycle in 1 year, hence the name annual. Then you've got your biennial, which are going to take 2 years, and then your perennial, which are going to reproduce over a long period of time. They produce reproductive structures underneath the ground, which are called rhizomes. Those by far are the worst, and they suck to try to deal with. From this point, you've got to determine if you're going to do a pre or a post-emergent to handle the weeds. Pre-emergent does exactly what it sounds like. It's going to discourage the seeds from germinating in the first place. And a post-emergent is going to kill the weed once it's already germinated and established. Now that you've determined what kind of weeds that you are tackling, you're gonna wanna look at the label to make sure those weeds are listed on it. Again, if it's not, don't waste your money or time, don't buy the product. Find the one that's going to tackle that weed in your area. Each one of these products is going to be applied in a different way. So it's very important that you read the label to make sure that you apply them safely and effectively. Like I preached at my time at domyown.com, and what they preach still to this day, label is law. So you have to follow it exactly so that you're applying them in a safe and effective manner. Since we mentioned the label, let's talk about that for a minute and point out some of the most important things that you're gonna find there. First up, you're gonna have your ingredients right there, most likely on the front or the back of the bottle in plain sight. These are gonna be your active, your inactive, and your inert ingredients, and it's gonna give you percentages of all of those, like I said, either on the front or the very back of the label. The label is going to tell you the percentages of both the active and inactive ingredients in relationship to the volume of the product. Why the crap do you need to know that? Well, it's going to help tell you the amount that you need to put down for your given area. So if one product has half as much as another similar product, you would apply twice as much of the first to get the similar results. But again, read the label and make sure you follow what it tells you on mixing and applying. The next thing you're going to find on the label, and I would argue this is probably the most important, are the precautionary statements and the restricted uses of that given product. That's going to tell you things like what happens if you get it on your skin, clothing, in your eyes, inhale it. Hopefully we're not doing any of that, but if you accidentally do, it's going to be on the label to help you with that situation. And the restricted use section is exactly what it sounds like. This is going to tell you the places, plants, and the surfaces that you cannot spray the chemical on. The next part of the label is the one that everyone just wants to know right out of the gate. This is going to give you the nuts and bolts, the brass tacks, whatever idiom you want to throw in there on how to use the product. In other words, it's the specific use for the chemical, how to apply it, where you can apply it, what rate you should use, all that good stuff. For example, there might be a product out there that says you can spray turf type tall fescue in a residential area at 6:38 in the morning on a Thursday. Obviously, I'm kidding, right? But you get the point. There's going to be specifics on there of how to apply the product. You should read those and know them. There are going to be products out there that are not that specific and kind of have a little bit more room for the application, but still read it, know it to the best of your ability so that you're, again, safely and effectively applying them, right? If the desired application, meaning the place or the weed or the surface that you're trying to spray it on, is not on the label, no deal, don't get it, don't go down that road and say, oh, well, I'll give it a shot and see if it works. Don't do that. Keep in mind, the label is the law. It is illegal to use these products in any way, shape, or form that is not stated on the label. So don't do it. And finally, we've got to talk about all the Safety Sally's favorite part of the label, the PPE. Personal protection equipment. For the most part, this is pretty standard. Long sleeves, long pants, chemical resistant gloves, closed-toed shoes, eye protection, and in some cases, a little mask could be recommended. Some products are even going to tell you specifically what type of sprayer or application equipment that you need to apply the product, meaning sprayers that might have to be metal or a certain thickness of plastic. Just make sure to read this section really well so that you have the proper equipment in order to apply the product. Now let's talk application rates. This section of the label is going to tell you exactly how much product you need per a certain square footage of area or acres or whatever the case may be. It's going to tell you how much you need to put in a certain volume to get it out over a given area. When it comes to homeowners, we talk about X amount of product per 1,000 square feet, and usually 1 gallon of water is going to carry that product over that 1,000 square feet. So it's usually X amount of product per 1 gallon of water for every 1,000 square feet. Some products will even go into specifics on how to do spot treatments, meaning you're gonna mix up just enough to just go around and lightly mist over the weeds, not do a broadcast application over the whole area. Identifying the weeds, reading the label, understanding what it's telling you, figuring out the application rates and the mathicalations on how much you gotta put down, absolutely sounds like a root canal. I get it. But if you take the time, you read the application, you understand what you're trying to tackle, you're gonna have much better success. You're gonna save yourself time, and most importantly, you're gonna save yourself the greenbacks. What did I leave out? What did I say wrong? Hopefully, if I am wrong, you can tell me in the comments section below. I can learn from that. Everybody else can learn from that, and we can all grow and figure this thing out together. Hit the thumbs up if you like this style of video. I most certainly enjoy doing these kinds of videos, again, because I learn a lot when I research the topic and putting it together. It helps me. Hopefully it helps you. Hit the thumbs up if it did. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell to get the notifications for every time I upload a new video. I appreciate you watching. Take care of yourselves out there. Keep on keeping on, and I will catch you in the next one.